Today's story is called Corrupted Badge, the Killer Cop's Reign of Terror. In the quiet town of Ravenbrook, a series of gruesome murders stirs fear and suspicion among its residents. As the body count rises, a dedicated detective must confront the chilling truth. A fellow officer, one sworn to protect and serve, is responsible for the heinous crimes. The pursuit of justice becomes a harrowing battle against corruption and betrayal. Part 1. Shadows of Suspicion. Ravenbrook was a tranquil town nestled in the embrace of dense forests, where the streets seemed to sleep beneath the soft, dappled sunlight. But the idyllic calm was shattered by a series of gruesome murders that sent shockwaves through the community. The victims, all seemingly unrelated, had one chilling connection. They were killed with a ruthless efficiency that bore the hallmark of a seasoned killer. As fear and suspicion gripped Ravenbrook, Detective Laura Turner found herself at the center of the investigation. Laura was known for her unwavering dedication to the law, but the horrifying crime scenes and the mounting body count tested even her resolve. It was a test she was determined to pass, no matter the cost. As she combed through the evidence, a disturbing pattern emerged, one that pointed to a fellow officer as the prime suspect. The realization sent shockwaves through the police department, casting a dark shadow over the badge Laura had sworn to uphold. In the quiet corners of Ravenbrook, whispers of betrayal and corruption grew louder, and trust among the town's officers began to crumble. The pursuit of justice had taken an unsettling turn, as Detective Turner knew she would have to confront a chilling truth, one that struck at the very heart of the law. With each passing day, the shadows of suspicion deepened, and Laura's determination to uncover the killer cop's identity intensified. In a town where trust was now a rare commodity, the battle for justice would become a harrowing test of courage and conviction. The once peaceful streets of Ravenbrook were now haunted by a sinister presence, and Detective Laura Turner was determined to shine a light into the darkest corners of her town, even if it meant exposing a betrayal that cut to the core of her profession. Part 2. The Tainted Brotherhood. Detective Laura Turner's pursuit of the killer cop plunged her deeper into the treacherous world of corruption and betrayal within the Ravenbrook Police Department. The whispers of suspicion had grown into a cacophony of doubt, and the once unified force was now fractured. Laura knew that her investigation had the potential to tear apart the tightly knit brotherhood of officers, but she also understood that the pursuit of justice was paramount. The victims deserved no less, and the integrity of the badge demanded it. As she sifted through the evidence, Laura discovered a chilling web of secrets and hidden alliances. The killer cop had left behind cryptic clues that hinted at a deep-rooted vendetta against the very institution they had sworn to protect. It was a vendetta that had taken a murderous turn, leaving a trail of bodies in its wake. The detective's quest for answers led her to an unexpected ally, a retired police officer named Michael Harris, who had once served as a mentor to the suspect. Michael had grown disillusioned with the corruption that had seeped into the department over the years and was willing to share what he knew. With Michael's guidance, Laura began to unravel a conspiracy that went far beyond a single rogue officer. It was a conspiracy that reached into the highest echelons of power within Ravenbrook, and the killer cop appeared to be just a pawn in a much larger game. The walls of silence within the department began to crumble as officers who had long turned a blind eye to corruption began to speak out. Trust was a fragile commodity, but it was also the key to exposing the truth. Detective Laura Turner knew that the battle for justice was far from over. As she delved deeper into the tangled web of deceit, she realized that the killer cop was merely the tip of the iceberg. The heart of Ravenbrook's darkness had yet to be revealed, and the price of uncovering it would be steep. In a town where the thin blue line had become blurred by greed and betrayal, Laura stood as a beacon of unwavering determination, a symbol of the relentless pursuit of justice, no matter the cost. Part 3. Unmasking the Betrayer. Detective Laura Turner's relentless pursuit of the killer cop had fractured the Ravenbrook Police Department. The once unified force was now divided, with trust eroded by the whispers of corruption and betrayal. But Laura remained undeterred, her dedication to justice unwavering. With the guidance of retired officer Michael Harris, Laura delved deeper into the twisted conspiracy that had ensnared the department. The evidence pointed to a clandestine network of officers who had profited from the very crimes they were supposed to prevent. It was a betrayal that cut to the core of the badge, and Laura was determined to unmask the betrayer at the heart of it all. As she followed the trail of corruption, Laura discovered a hidden safe house, a place where the killer cop had operated, leaving behind a trail of macabre trophies from the victims. It was a chilling reminder of the brutality that had plagued Ravenbrook. Inside the safe house, Laura found a diary, its pages filled with cryptic entries that hinted at the killer cop's descent into madness. It seemed that the suspect had once been an idealistic officer, but a series of traumatic events had driven them over the edge. The detective's pursuit also led her to a chilling revelation. The killer cop had a personal vendetta against the department, fueled by a sense of betrayal and a thirst for vengeance. The murders were a gruesome form of retribution, a twisted attempt to expose the corruption that had festered within the force. Laura knew that she was closing in on the betrayer, but the stakes had never been higher, as the investigation threatened to expose the depth of the conspiracy. Powerful figures within Ravenbrook were determined to protect their secrets at any cost. In a town where the thin blue line had been stained by treachery, Detective Laura Turner was on the brink of unmasking the killer cop and exposing the web of corruption that had ensnared her department. But as the darkness closed in, she couldn't help but wonder if the price of justice would be too high. Part 4. The Tangled Web. Detective Laura Turner's relentless pursuit of the killer cop had unraveled a web of corruption and betrayal that stretched far beyond the Ravenbrook Police Department. The town's once quiet streets were now a battleground of secrets and deceit, and the detective was determined to uncover the truth, no matter the cost. Laura's investigation led her to a clandestine meeting among the corrupt officers, an event where the sinister extent of their treachery became horrifyingly clear. They were part of a conspiracy that reached deep into the heart of Ravenbrook's power structure, and their actions had dire consequences for the town's residents. As Laura pieced together the puzzle, she found herself facing a dangerous dilemma. To expose the killer cop and the web of corruption, she would have to navigate a treacherous path where betrayal lurked at every turn. The line between ally and enemy had blurred, and the detective couldn't be certain who she could trust. In the midst of this chaos, Laura received an anonymous tip that led her to a long-abandoned factory on the outskirts of town. Inside, she discovered a chilling tableau, a makeshift shrine dedicated to the victims, complete with disturbing messages scrawled in blood-red paint. The killer cop's vendetta had taken on a nightmarish intensity, and Laura knew that the final confrontation was inevitable. She was closing in on the betrayer, but the battle for justice had become a desperate struggle against a formidable adversary. As the walls of deception crumbled, the corrupt officers grew increasingly desperate, willing to go to any lengths to protect their secrets. Laura's determination to expose the truth had made her a target, and the price of her pursuit was measured in blood and betrayal. In a town where shadows concealed dark secrets, Detective Laura Turner stood on the precipice of a revelation that would shake Ravenbrook to its core. But as the final act played out, she couldn't help but wonder if justice would prevail, or if the darkness would claim its victory. Part 5. The Reckoning. Detective Laura Turner's relentless pursuit of the killer cop had brought Ravenbrook to the brink of reckoning. The town's dark secrets and the treacherous web of corruption had been exposed, but the battle for justice was far from over. The final confrontation loomed, and Laura knew that she was about to face the betrayer who had haunted Ravenbrook streets with a reign of terror. The killer cop's vendetta had reached its climax, and the detective was determined to bring them to justice. The showdown took place in the heart of the town, where secrets had been laid bare and alliances shattered. As Laura closed in on the killer cop, a tense standoff ensued, a battle of wills, where the line between right and wrong blurred in the face of desperation. The killer cop's identity was revealed, and it sent shockwaves through the town. It was an officer who had once been trusted, one who had allowed their thirst for vengeance to consume them. As the truth came to light, Laura couldn't help but feel a profound sense of betrayal, a betrayal of the badge and all it stood for. The final confrontation was a harrowing battle, one that pushed Laura to her limits. The corrupt officers, desperate to protect their secrets, fought with a savage intensity. But the detective's determination was unwavering, and she was fueled by a fierce desire for justice. In the end, the killer cop met their reckoning, brought down by the relentless pursuit of Detective Laura Turner. But the price of that victory was steep. Ravenbrook's trust in its police force was shattered, and the scars of corruption ran deep. As the dust settled on the town's darkest chapter, Laura couldn't help but wonder if justice had truly been served. The battle against corruption had been won, but the cost had been high, and the wounds would take time to heal. In a town where the thin blue line had been tainted by betrayal, Detective Laura Turner stood as a symbol of unwavering determination, a reminder that even in the face of darkness, the pursuit of justice would never falter. Hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel to support us.